to Cooking with Papa Tuck in Papa Tuck's Kitchen. Today we got a great show for you. We are going to make homemade pizza dough and then homemade pizza. And this is cool. And you can do it right in your house and save yourself a bundle of money, especially in these days with this economy. And today we're going to be using my KitchenAid. This thing is awesome. I'm going to make the pizza dough in this. You can make cakes in this thing. They've got attachments you can put on this. Make homemade sausage. You can grind meat up with this thing. Make hamburger. These things are awesome. If you don't have one, you need to go get one. My God, you can probably go. I go and get the parts that I need for this at KitchenAid.com. They got everything that you need. My wife got me this for Christmas. You talk about some reverse roles. I get a KitchenAid for Christmas and I give her a lawnmower. Yeah! How do you beat that, Papa Tucks, darling wife? Well, let's get this thing going. I'm going to make us up some pizza dough. And it is no big deal. And I went down to the store. I picked up some provolone cheese. I picked up some mozzarella cheese. I'm going to make a couple. I picked up some portobello sliced mushrooms to make it nice and easy. You can slice them, you can get whole and slice them up too. I picked up some pepperoni because the kids love pepperoni and mushrooms on their pizza. So you're going to need some flour, all-purpose flour. You're going to need some yeast. You're going to need some sugar. Not a lot, only a couple teaspoons. Let me put this stuff back over here. You're going to need a little bit of salt. You're going to need some olive oil. I'm using green olive oil. Okay, you're going to need a little bit of butter. Got some butter. All right. You're going to need some measuring cups. And here's my yeast I picked up. This is quick yeast. And once you open this up, just put it into a Ziploc bag. Keep it in the refrigerator. Okay, you want to keep close eye to your yeast. And you can go to my website at PapaBooks.net and I'll have this recipe right on the website for you so you can copy and paste it. All right, let's get this going. We're gonna make us up some dough on my KitchenAid. Oh, don't forget the pizza pans. You're going to need a couple pizza pans. You can use a stone too. And remember your pizza stone, the secret to it is put it in the oven. Oh, there's my books. Remember the pizza stone, the secret to it is put it in the oven at 450 and bring that baby up to temperature for about an hour, hour and a half. And get it nice and hot. Then you can put your pizza right onto it and cook it. And then just keep looking at the bottom of it, making sure it crisps up. All right, let's get this dough going. This is really, really easy, and the KitchenAid makes this thing much simpler. You can do it by hand, but I like to use the KitchenAid. So this thing is awesome. So this is very simple. We can back this baby off. Get your pan off of here. This comes right with your KitchenAid. And we're going to get our yeast going first. And what we're going to need here is we're going to need a cup and a half of warm water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thermometer and I'm going to take the temperature of my water actually. I'm going to bring it up to 105 degrees right off the sink, between 105 and 115 degrees, and I'm going to put it right in here. And what you do is you take your yeast and put it into the mix and just let it set. You're going to sprinkle it on top of that warm water and just let it set, okay? After about 5 minutes, I believe it is, you're going to take and stir it a little bit, make sure it's mixed in, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. I'll show you here in a minute. Let's get some water on here. And we're going to get a cup and a half. Wait a minute. Let me get my water up to temperature here. About like this. And I want about 105 degrees, like I said. So I'm just going to put my thermometer right under there. And I'm going to get my water temp up to about 105. Once I reach that 105, I'm going to put a cup and a half right in there. A little bit warmer. That's good. That's good. So now we're going to take and put a cup and a half of warm water right into that pan. There's 1 cup. Whoop. And there's a half a cup. There's a cup and a half. Let's put these babies right over here. And now we're going to get our yeast over here. All right. I got my yeast, and I'm going to put 2 1/4 teaspoons in this. And like I said, keep them even. Keep your teaspoons even. There's 1. I'm going to sprinkle it in there. And here's 2. I'm going to sprinkle that right in there. and a quarter, about a quarter teaspoon. And there is about a quarter. And I'm going to sprinkle that in there. Now, I'm going to put that back aside. And we're actually going to let this set. I want to put this yeast right back in the refrigerator, okay? So let me get this right back in the refrigerator because I'm done with the yeast right now. This is going to make enough dough for a couple pizzas. And I'll show you that in a minute. So let me get this zipped up. And see what I'm doing is I'm just zipping this baby into a Ziploc baggie and putting it right back in the refrigerator because I don't want my yeast to go bad. And that just helps preserve it. So let's just let this set now for about, I think it's 5 minutes. We're going to let this stand for 5 minutes and we're just going to let this stuff dissolve into the mix, okay? While we're doing that, we're going to set this aside. Actually, I'll set it right over here. While we're doing that, we're going to mix up our dough mix with the flour, okay? So we're going to take a glass bowl, no big deal, and we are going to dry our cups off, and we're going to get our flour in here. Let me dry this measuring cup off a little bit, okay? Just like this. And we are going to put 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour into this, okay? So let me get the cups of flour set. This would be 1. Keep them even. There's 1. There's 2. Now you can, if you're making pizza dough ahead, there's 3, and let's do a half. You can actually, after you get this thing to rise, let me get my half in here. After you get this to rise, you can freeze this, and you can freeze this up, 2-3 weeks in the freezer. So you can actually make pizza dough ahead if you want to, and your pizza dough is all done when you're ready to make your pizzas. So we got that in there. Now I'm going to get myself my salt and my sugar in there. Okay? And what I want is 1 teaspoon of sugar in this mix. Let me get that out nice and even. We're going to put 1 teaspoon right into this mix. And we're going to put 2 teaspoons of salt in here. Nice and just keep them even. There's 1. And there's 2. So there's our sugar, there's our salt. Now we're going to put some green olive oil in here, okay? And we're going to put 2 tablespoons of green olive oil into this mix. There's 1. And there's 2. Actually, let's put this aside. And we're just going to let this set for a minute. Now, let's put that aside and just let it set. Let's check our mix and see how we're doing over here. We're timing this and it's got to go 5 minutes. So we'll just let that go a little bit longer. And, got to fill you in on something. This is a band called Trippin' Lily. Okay? These guys are awesome. They jam with a ukulele, a violin. I just can't say enough. You can go to trippinlily.com and check them out. And I'll put a link on my website at papabooks.net so you can check them out too. But what's going on here is Trippin' Lily on March 5th is coming to the island. And I'm going to interview them. We're going to go down to PA Club in Oak Bluffs and we're going to cook up some PapaTucks steak sandwiches. And from there, and the kitchen's staying open actually, and from there, they're going to go in and perform. So we're going to have a beautiful night at the nightclub with Trippin' Lily playing. It's going to be awesome. Yeah! And all the proceeds are going to island charities. How can you beat that? And you can, I got to go down to Al's package, and I'm going to go down to Jim's package, Edgartown and Oak Bluffs, and I'm going to see if they can't sell some tickets for us. Just go in there, you'll hopefully be able to get some tickets there. And of course, you can get your tickets at the PA Club too. And like I say, all proceeds are going right to the island charities. How can you beat that? Trippin' Lily live at the PA Club. And that's March 5th. That's going to be March 5th.